Welcome to the round table. We are back. We were not here last week. My little one was sick, so shout out to all of you that sent prayers for her. She is doing much better, but let's just get right into it and bring in our guests. We're going to bring in, hey Denise, how are you, sis?
Hi, good. How are you?
I'm doing much better. Ruby's feeling better, so you know, much
Yes.
better. Hey guys, we got Artie, Marin, we got Salvador. Salvador's good to see you. Been a minute.
Hi,
Machete.
Artie. Hi, Machete. Hi, Salvador.
Right, that's right. Artie. Vic Med, good to see you too. That's right. Roundtable in the house. We might have some more guests tapping in. We'll see. We'll see. But for now, we're just going to kick it off with Denise and I.
Yep.
And I want to know about your weekend. And I know you went to a car show, and I'm dying to know what that was like, how it was,
Yeah.
and who you got.
Well, yeah, we went to Chicano Park in San Diego, and it took like 2 hours to get there. It's all the traffic.
Yeah.
But we made it there, and oh my gosh, the parking was just crazy.
Okay.
It was just like there was no parking for blocks and blocks, and we're just like, man. So yeah, just driving around for probably 30 minutes for parking. It was crazy.
Oh my
Um, so we ended up there and we walked around. It was just amazing.
God.
Just so many cars, so many people. Um, it was nice. It was really. Oh, I didn't tell you this part. When we were going and we missed the off ramp.
Mm-hmm.
We ended up getting on that Coronado Bridge.
Oh my
Oh
God.
God. I was like, where in the heck are we? I've never been on that bridge. I didn't even know about that bridge actually.
That
A
is
huge
so
bridge,
scary.
and you could see the bridge. While you're on it going straight, you could see how it turns and stuff. And it was
Mhm.
like, oh my God, this thing is never going to end.
Oh my gosh. No way.
Yeah, I didn't enjoy it. That I didn't enjoy that because I was like shocked that we were just like on something like that and how it looked.
Right.
It looked like it belonged like somewhere else, not
Yeah.
not right here in San Diego. But anyways, yeah, we did that. We made our rounds. We ended up meeting up with Brenda Love.
That's so cool. You got to see
But
her.
yes, we got to meet her, and she's so cool in person, just as she is in
Yeah.
just as she is on the channel. She's no different. And I got to meet her little puppies, and
Yeah.
it was awesome. It was a good time, you know, a
That's
good
nice. Yeah,
time.
she has little Shih Tzus, right? Those
Huh?
small ones. The puppies she has, they're Shih Tzus, the breed.
Yeah, both of them are.
How
Um,
cute.
so yeah,
So,
it's cool.
so what do you do? Like, I mean, I've been to a couple car shows up here, but nothing like that. What do you do? Do you just,
Well, they had like the chant, the Indian chant, a dance that they did all throughout the park. They had that, and they had like mariachi singers. They had just food for days. The line for the food and the drinks, all that stuff was like really long because there was so
really?
many people. There was so many people. You
Did you try
basically
anything?
hang out. You just walk around. You put up your chair and you kick back
Mhm.
and enjoy everybody's, the scene.
Yeah.
That's basically a
Cool.
car show, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. That's nice. I was like, well, obviously I didn't get to go, but I was thinking this last weekend if I would have been able to go to that trip I had talked about the last
Hmm.
roundtable, I would have, if I stayed one extra day, I would have been down there the same time.
Oh yeah.
I was like, dang, that would have been so cool to meet up with everyone, but
Yeah.
next
There's,
time.
there's another car show for Cinco de Mayo, but
Oh,
not
really?
tonight. This weekend, yeah.
Okay. Where's that one at?
San Diego, I think in the same place. I think the same
Okay.
place, for sure.
All right. All right.
But I didn't really look into that because I'm not gonna be able to go.
Yeah. You got plans? Hey, Sea Dog.
Hey dog.
Sea Dog's in the house. You'll be in LA this weekend. The Lowrider Super Show. All right, Machette.
LA this weekend?
Right on.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's what I'm thinking, the Super Show.
Yeah, might be that one, huh?
Mhm.
Well, you already know my weekend was with, sick kids. So
Yeah.
had my little one in and out of the emergency room, doctor's office. And it was just no fun. Your heart is breaking for your little one, but you're also exhausted from
Oh.
all of the just chaos of taking her
Yeah.
back and forth.
You're-
And
Right. Your nerves, everything, like what's going to
Yeah.
happen, what's going on, all this stuff. I can't imagine. I
Getting up
remember
and
when my girls were
her.
little. That's
Yeah,
what it was. It was just when they got sick, they got real, because they wouldn't really get sick like my girls.
really?
And then when
Okay.
they got sick, they really got sick,
Yeah,
They're like my
that's how
husband.
my son is. Yeah, it's like they don't get sick maybe as often, but when they do, it's really bad, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
And wow, that's crazy. So she's better and stuff. And
She's feeling better. She's not, like 100, but she's
Yeah.
feeling better. She just came home. She did go to school today. She came home super tired though, so she just wanted to eat and lay down. My
Yeah.
eye is like twitching. You know how, like, I don't know. I always heard it's when you have anxiety. My eye's like twitching and it won't stop.
No, that's how mine's always is. I'm always telling you, my eyes twitching. I don't know why. They say
I
it's
know.
caffeine, but then stress too. So
Yeah, I don't drink caffeine, so it can't be that for me. But
Mm.
no, I do have tea, but I don't know if it has caffeine.
well, yeah, that has caffeine.
Yeah, it probably does, huh? But yeah, that's about it. But you know what? Tell me about. I heard you have an amazing playlist going on Mr. Oldie's channel.
Yeah, just so yeah, Mr. Oldies, shout out to you
Shout out
for
to Mr.
watching.
Yes.
Or when you watch.
Mhm.
He did my playlist. I picked some songs, he put them out there. I think it hit like 2.3. No, it's 2.5K right now.
Yeah.
So you guys go check it out. It's
Yes.
my personal picks of songs, and yeah, a lot of people are enjoying them. So
That's
really
pretty
cool.
cool. Yeah. So you basically chose songs that, are meaningful to you or that you enjoy, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, it took them a couple weeks to, or
Together.
put it together, but yeah, it came out really good.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Really, really cool.
I enjoyed it. Shout out to you, Mr. Oldies, and to
Yes.
you, Denise. Good song choices.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
like I said, brought them back to like the 80s, 70s and 80s. I was like, man, I was listening to those like, yeah, when I was old enough to,
yeah, that's good. I enjoyed hearing them. I'm gonna just jump into a couple topics, and you guys in the chat, I want to hear what you guys think too. We're just trying to come up with something for tonight because, like I said, it was a chaotic week, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I want to throw some together, chop it up, catch up with you guys. But this one should be interesting. So, how important do you feel it is to keep up family traditions, and why should we keep them going if you think it's important?
To me, like, I try to keep up family traditions, but at the same time, like with my mom getting older and stuff, like the traditions that she showed me
Mm-hmm.
is that we had to try to get together like every Mother's Day or every holiday, basically, Christmas, stuff like that. Like we'd have make tamales together. We would for Christmas, or for like different things. But as I had my girls, I showed them and instilled it on them that they have to do the same, like stick it together and have holidays and birthdays, and we make sure that they get a cake every year, you know, for their birthdays and stuff. So it's important that you do that, because otherwise your family is just gonna fall apart. Like they're not gonna be close.
Right.
And we don't like not being close. We have to know that, you know, that we are there for each other and can rely on each other, and you know, just be there for one another. So
Mhm.
it makes it easier to have them close,
Mhm.
and they end up talking, you know, with each other and confiding, and so all that plays a role in that, you know,
Mhm. For
keeping our
sure.
family traditions, yeah, together. So
Yeah.
it just keeps the closeness in your
Mhm.
family. So that's what I that's how I do it.
Yeah. I think I totally agree with you. Like, unfortunately, I don't feel like that has like carried on in my family. I feel like a
Mhm.
lot of the traditions have sort of fallen to the side. It's like almost when my grandparents passed, like a lot of the things just kind of went away, you know?
Yeah.
People didn't really keep them up. Or those of us that would try, it was hard to get others involved, you
Sorry.
know?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I forgot to turn my phone off.
It depends on what the tradition is. Yeah, I guess so. Like,
Garcia. What did Garcia say? Or Cholo Truck?
um, he said it depends on what the tradition is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be like, well, like family reunions, right?
Mm.
Get-togethers, you know.
That's
Right.
coming up for me. Yeah.
That's what I was going to ask you.
Hi, cheeks.
Hey, House.
What did Garcia say?
Here. Hey,
Yeah.
Cheese. Hey, House.
Hey, House. Man, I'm
Hold
too
on.
white.
Hold on a second.
Okay.
I don't know if you can hear the ring.
What did Garcia say?
Hey, it says when you get rid of traditions, you're basically inviting unwanted mannerisms and separations. Traditions were to bring family together.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
How you
spot
guys doing today? Sorry I'm late, but I got caught up in a couple of things, and I'm like, oh, damn.
all
I'm
good.
here.
It happens.
You're here.
Good to see
That's
you.
it.
Yeah, it happens. Hey, cheeks. That's right. There's
How
hermano.
you ladies
Selena.
doing?
Hey, cheeks. I'm good. How are
Good,
you?
good. Good to seeing you, Denise, and you too, Jen. Welcome
Good to
back,
see
Jen.
you.
Been
Yeah.
praying for Ruby
Oh, I
100%.
appreciate it. I
Yeah,
appreciate it. So does she. It was so cute. When her little friend, because her little best friend's brother is sick right now too. He actually has been sick longer than Ruby. And her little friend asked her, she's like, Ruby, how did you get better already? She's like, I heard her talking on her phone in the other room. She's like, oh, you should have heard my mom. She was praying like 60 times.
That's cute.
I
Aw.
was like, oh, that is cute.
want to send mine to the chat. What is it? Strange Days. Who else?
Strange days in the house. Good to see you.
Cholo Trucker, Cheeks.
Tucker,
Trucker.
here, Victor Garcia.
Victor Garcia. Mine
Stranger
to
Days.
everybody in the chat room today.
Yeah, Riverside La Sierra.
I gotta lower this light. I look too white.
Good seeing you. Hi, Enid. Nat. So how you doing, Jen?
I'm all right. It's good to like have a conversation with other adults right now. I feel like I was just out of touch with everything, you know, just in mom mode, which I
Hey,
was able to do. But
the family comes first. You know, you got to, man. You got to take care of your young there, you know?
definitely. Hey, what's your opinion, House, on family traditions? Do you feel like they're as important as they should be?
I think so. I really do. We used to have that, and then now we don't. Things have changed a little bit, you know?
Mhm.
But I wish we would have kept them going, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's important. All those little things that you do is important, man, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Sure.
What it is, you know?
Mm-hmm. I think
Yeah.
so too. It's like, I wish I would have been able to keep it going on my mom's side. Like that's the one side, like they would do a lot of family reunions, things like that. Um, I can't say my dad's side didn't. We were just never invited. So it just depends. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I have a lot of cousins on that side, but I think Denise dropped off. She'll come right back. But yeah, I wish I could have kept it going, you know. All right.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. Because we used to, some of my family members used to get the reunions together, and we'll get all. But I don't see that now. Lately, it's like not even happening, you know.
Yeah.
And it's just a sign of times. Plus, a lot of people are passing away, you know, and things are changing. Some of the ones that used to hold it down, you know,
Yeah.
that generation that used to hold it down, I think there's only two left.
Right. Hey E, how are you?
I'm good, Jen. How are you?
And how's good? Good. Good to see you finally.
I know, finally.
I know. Let me shoot this link real quick to Denise. Hold on. What do you think about that topic? Family traditions. Do you feel like it's important?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. So sorry I caught it a little late, but like what type of family traditions just in general?
I think just in general, but like family reunions come to mind. You know, maybe you have a certain get together that was important to your family that, like, for one thing, like on Christmas Eve, we would always do Christmas Eve and make it something special, you know?
Oh yeah, no, definitely. I do. I feel like in my family, I mean it's probably common in a lot of families, but like um the only time we see each other is for funerals. And so I was telling my family recently, you know, we got to get together. We had a party for my dad and my little brother a few weeks ago, and I told them, you know, this is fun because when you don't see family in a while, you don't realize how much time you miss out on, and it's important.
I know. That's
And
right.
really, the only time, you know, my family is when there's a funeral, or you know, and we got to stop. We got to break that cycle.
Yeah.
Right? They always say, well, we'll see you maybe at the next funeral or something like that, you know.
We do. We got to stop saying that though, too, right?
Right.
Okay, so here's the real cheese me. Here's what made me think about this. So if I won't say who, a family member is having a baby, right? And the way we found out was so weird. It was like through a friend of the family, and they were like, "Oh, so did you hear so and so's having a baby and it's a boy and they have the name already and the baby shower was last weekend?" And I'm like, no, this can't be. Like, it's a family member that close that you would be like, there's no way. There's no way I wouldn't know. Even if they didn't invite me, I would know. It was true. They are having a baby, have the name picked out, know what it is. And I'm like, damn, that's pretty cold.
You find out that way, huh? Down the line. Hey, I wanted to say, nice to meet you, E-Visions. I never met you before, brother, but good to see you on. You know.
Thank you. You likewise, my brother.
Yeah. So if you guys don't know, which you probably know, but eVision has a channel, so go check it out and subscribe. Sorry, I'm trying to get the link sent to Denise so she can log back on. But
Yeah.
you're in the Central Valley, right, E?
Yeah, I'm from the Central Valley.
Okay, that's where my dad was from.
Okay, what part, if you don't mind me asking?
Visalia?
Okay, in Tulare County.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's where I'm from, Tulare County.
Okay. Yeah, that's where my dad grew up.
Nice.
All of him and his brothers. Yeah. Okay, I sent it to her. So, okay, I'm gonna move on to the next little topic while Denise is gonna try to log back on. This was another one I was thinking. So if you have a friend, a family member, coworker, it doesn't, like, however you can apply it to your life, and they just constantly have a bad attitude or they're always rude, is it okay to always just excuse their behavior by saying, oh, that's just how they are? You know how they are. Or do you call them out on it?
Me personally, okay, so that's so I have a lot of family like that. So my siblings in general, they get a we bump heads a lot because I don't like to be around negative energy. I learned how to, the older I've gotten, I've learned to distance myself from people only because a lot of people are toxic and to me it's dead weight.
Yeah.
And my siblings, they like a lot of that drama.
Mhm.
And so, the older I get, I realize that life's too short to waste your time on just stuff that just mentally drains you,
Yeah.
physically drains you, and friends as well. I got a lot of friends that are in that same situation. But I feel like, if you support somebody, whether it's a friend or in a relationship, and you got to call them out on their BS,
Mhm.
like constantly, I feel like it's an issue. Like me personally, I would just remove myself from those people.
You know what? He has a good point there, and you don't even look that old, brother. What are you, 18?
Oh, hey, I'll take that. Thank you. No, I just turned 40 in November.
Serio? Yeah,
Yeah.
man. I wouldn't even think you're
Denise, how
40.
you doing?
But you know what I do is, because I ran into stuff like that, I just don't distance myself, but I don't feed into their attitude. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to let them steal my joy, so I continue to have fun with some other people. If they want to continue to raise their voice or be the way they are, rude and obnoxious or this and that, I let it be and just brush it off the shoulder. Because once you start getting into the argument, confronting them, this and that, it could go south, and it's going to ruin time at the party or wherever, So
Right.
the best thing to do is just brush it off the shoulder. If he wants to talk crap, let him talk crap, whatever. Because if you let that get to you, then they're going to, you know what I'm saying? So it's all just to and It's not saying like, oh, you're a punk or you're whatever, sha. No, it's just being a man about the situation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, sometimes it's better just to walk away.
Yeah, those they got problems. They got problems. They want to bring it to somebody else. I want to make their life miserable. But you know what? I mean, you could talk to them, and if it gets out of line, then you know when to walk away, like Vision says, which is true.
Yeah,
It's true.
that's good advice. That's good advice. Did you hear the question, Denise?
No.
Okay. So say there's somebody, friend, family, coworker, whatever, that always has like a bad attitude, rude. Is it okay to just sort of excuse that behavior and just say, oh, that's how they are? That's just how they are.
You know what? At first you gotta kind of like fill them out. Like what? Sometimes it's like, are they just acting like that, or is it, are they having a bad day, or
Yeah.
are they like that? And yeah, no, I came across a lot of people that were Debbie Downers. You know what I mean? And I don't like that negative either. So after I figured them out, I was like, okay, well, I'm not gonna let that hinder me,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I've let a lot of people go that I've known in my lifetime that just weren't for me. They weren't my cup of tea. So I
Yeah.
think you just have to eventually let it go.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know if Hal said it, but sometimes God puts people in our path and people in our lives, and you know who to watch out for and who who wants what. I'm not into gossiping. I'm not into taking sides. I'm not into all that stuff. So I just kind of just like,
Yeah. Brush it aside. Yeah.
Well, this is a good example. I had a job one time, right? And I was working in a manufacturing place, right?
Mhm.
And all the schematic, I knew everything what to do. I was like on my P's and Q's, bam, bam. While they put me in another department. Now this one guy, he was a big guy. He always would bug me. He didn't tell me stuff, and I really got tired of hearing my name. So I did the other route. I confronted him. I said, man, let's step outside, man. I'm tired of hearing your stuff. I know what I'm doing. I'm doing it right. Blah, blah, blah. So he's all like, he always used to just say that, bro. And I said, And I says, you know what?
Mhm.
The supervisor, what's cracking? What's going on? I says, first of all, this guy keeps on calling my name and he keeps on saying this. And I said, I know what I'm doing. He's stopping production and blah, blah, blah. And so what did they do? He was injured. Okay. So he had a little light duty, he was pushing the room around,
Yeah.
So they go, we're going to ship you off to this other area. So they shipped him out and I was there solo, bam, bam, doing what I had to do,
Yeah.
To me, I confronted him, and that's the way it went. I called him out, but now I'm too old for that. You know what I'm saying? I says, I want to keep my joy. Because I got tensed and I got like ready. Let's get down, I just, patience. I'm going to keep my joy. I'm not going to let them ruin it. And that's the way we all should look at life because, things like that can get us started and ruin our day completely, man.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And by no way it's like punking out or nothing like that. Just like what's his name say, be a bigger man. It's easy. It's
What's up, Ray?
the other way and go the other route, but
Mhm.
it's to be straight up and walk away and say, because it takes a lot.
Yeah, it definitely does. It definitely does. I have a few people that were in my life I have one cousin that I just cannot be around him. He's just too much, in a lot of ways. And the disrespect that he would show towards my grandparents and his mom. I'm like, every time I saw him, I wanted to put hands on him. So I had to, like, if he was going to be there, I'm like, I can't be there,
Yeah.
because I knew it was going to do exactly like what you said, House, like put me in a place where I'm going to be like, so worked up. I'm going to want to do something or say something that is going to set it off. And I'm going to feel like that for like days at a time. So
Right.
I don't know. I think that's
Have
it.
you guys ever had to put somebody in check like that, like to their face?
Yeah.
I mean,
I
how
did.
said that, but
Mhm.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't think I
plenty of
have.
times.
I don't think I have done that. I just kind of let them go, on the down low, like, oh, I'm busy, or like, oh, whatever, like I got shit to do, or
Mhm.
yeah, I
You
just
see,
didn't mess with them anymore.
that's when I was young. As I'm older now, that stress manifests in your body more,
Oh yeah,
I mean,
turns you into a different person. You kind of look at things all different.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But it
Yeah.
would get me tired. Let's put it that way, because I approach these people and not take crap. But now I learned I'm smarter now.
Mhm.
I had a job where they tried to take my job. I was an instructor, right, for a school busing. I used to have to deal with the CHP and all these other people, right? And one lady came in from another company. So she didn't like the way I dressed because I was all creased down, you know what I'm saying? Military creased down, my uniform and everything, right? And she just didn't like me, man. So she was getting me kicked out of the DDS department. So she had people write letters from the CHP against me saying my training capabilities are to be questioned and all this other stuff, right?
Mhm.
Well, I got the pen. I got people, co-workers to write letters for me. I went to the watch commanders and I did this and I fought for my position, right?
Mhm.
And they reprimanded her, basically, is what they did, because she was doing the things wrong. It wasn't me. I know my job,
Yeah.
So they had to what do they call that? Reimburse me for the loss of time when she took me out of the training department, And so I won. It came down to I won, and she was reprimanded by the state of Sacramento,
Wow.
Dang.
Well, that's good.
She must have tires.
You got to sometimes rather than fighting and talking crap,
Mhm.
I just said, you know what? I'm going to be smart and I'm going to do it the right way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I did, and I won.
that's good. Yeah. And I mean, hopefully she learned a lesson too by her being reprimanded like that. She wouldn't do it to the next person.
She got transferred.
Yeah, I bet.
Well, you probably weren't the first that she did that to either.
Try to
Mhm.
do other girl. Now I can see this other girl, but when I went to train the person that came down from Sacramento, I was the first one there, right? And I drilled so much, man. He goes, "Okay, we're not getting in and out or nothing like that because George brought the measuring tape out and blah blah blah." And so I took him to I did it like by the book, So the other people had it easy. The other 3 people.
Yeah, that's true. Activate LA says sometimes bosses think they can get away and people won't stand up to them. So yeah, if you don't say nothing.
You have rights. You have rights too,
Mm-hmm. Hey Jojo, what's
So
good?
how you doing?
Thanks.
Active LA. Activate LA.
Activate LA.
Bosses take their job sometimes too much to the neck,
Mm-hmm.
They have that authority and they take it too far. So sometimes like I've had only one in my life that was like freaking crazy bitch, and then I had another one that was like I used to party with her and she was my husband's homegirl and she was my last job in the school district. So we had so much fun, man. We had so much fun at work. Who could say that? Had fun at work.
Yeah.
From like 9 to 2 was my hours, and we did what we had to do, and she let us kick back when we wanted to, or sit down for a little and stuff like that. And yeah, she was hella cool.
You know what the job I was talking about right now?
That's good.
The manager, he was the head guy, right?
Yeah.
So he used to rent a limo for us, man, and we'll go out and party and everything. And we'd be shooting out to LA, going to the clubs and everything, drinking, and all this other stuff on his expense. And so we all felt good, but it was that one lady. She just was in for me, because she didn't like the way I looked. She was judging me, but it's, I'm not going to change for nobody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. One bad seed can ruin it all. For sure. Do you feel like that applies with bosses as well, E? Like if you had a boss that was negative, would you be able to just take it, tolerate it?
You know what? I actually worked with, this was years ago, back in like 2012. I had a boss that was like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was always told, I was brought up to be respectful.
Mm-hmm.
That I didn't learn a lot of things from my dad, but that was one of the things that he taught me, was to be respectful. Even if, you don't get along with somebody, or we all have different opinions and we all have different beliefs. But I had a boss that it was just negative about everything.
Mm-hmm.
And one day I was just having a bad day. I was having to pick up the slack of other coworkers, and I just had a shitty day, and I just snapped on him, and I realized that I should have handled myself, more professionally.
Mm-hmm.
But he ended up getting fired because, he would abuse his authority.
Mm-hmm.
He would always talk down on other people, put other people down. And as a man, it's different with, it's different with men because, a lot of men, they tend to be macho but the older I've gotten, I've realized that, hey, sometimes it's okay to walk away or be the bigger person, apologize, even if you didn't do anything wrong.
Right.
Just always try to find a solution, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I agree. I agree with his brother saying. But I think it's a respect thing, and it's how you carry yourself. And there's a saying that we were taught since we were little. Treat others how you want to be treated.
Yeah.
It's a toxic. A lot of people have that toxic trait, though.
I mean, you could do that too, but it's a different. With the girls, with women, they just like look at you, check you out. They don't want to be your friend. They're just like haters, and it's like, what? Like, where's this? Where's this coming from? So a lot of the women, like us women, we tend to like put up with when we deal with that kind of stuff. It's thought of hate, jealousy, and just weird shit. Like, what?
Do you guys? Let me ask you guys a question. Everybody on the panel, do you feel like it's like it's a trauma? What? People like that they carry? Like the reason for that kind of behavior.
You know what? I got called boastful one time, and I'm like, you know what? It took a lot though for me to love me. You know what I mean? Like, I've been through some stuff, but I'm not going to carry that to the next person. But
Right.
yeah, I think a lot of people do that, and it's sad because if they were just to let that go, like, and just, I love everybody, man. I want to be everybody's friend, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, you run into some people like that, and it's like, man, get help or do something, because they're hindering their happiness. It's not good. It's not a
Yeah.
good thing.
You know,
And
it's how would I say? It's a form of power, a power trip. You know, they get to that power trip to them, and they just want to cause problems, or they bring their home to work. You know, they're having a bad day, or you know what I'm saying, and
Right.
it's something that they try to take it out on the people that are at the bottom, or that are under them. You know,
yeah,
but it's a power trip. With what I see.
I think a lot of them it is a power trip or control, but I also think it could be a trauma response. Maybe that person had, not that it's an excuse, but maybe they had like severe, I don't know, abandonment issues, or maybe they were teased a lot. And maybe, I don't know, something could have gave them issues to create that. But if they choose to carry on that behavior, then that's where the problem lies.
yeah,
Like in my job, like if I'm wrong, I'll admit it. Hey, I'm wrong. I'll pay the consequences. Whatever the punishment is. But if I'm not wrong, I'll fight. I'll fight.
Yeah.
And I learned not to fight with my fists, to be smart and fight with figuring, planning a thing to win. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what
I was like, I went through that when I was young, and I didn't have self-esteem. I was like, I didn't. And just growing and getting older and saying, you know what, like, I'm gonna make myself feel beautiful, or I'm gonna make myself feel, worthy enough. And I just, it was a process. It wasn't like, and I love myself. You got to love yourself. You have to love yourself first before loving
Definitely.
anybody else.
I
That's
agree.
true.
100% right there.
Yeah.
Salud, Justin.
Justin.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like it's, I
And having
try
my
to-
girl, wait, sorry,
Mhm.
but having my girls, my husband, my life, and like showing, you have to show them. And like my girls growing up, I would always get dressed, do my hair, do my makeup, like, clean the house. Like I told you, Jen, I had 4 sisters. I have 4 sisters, but when my mom would make us clean before we put on makeup,
Yeah.
on the weekend or after school or whatever. And if we put on makeup first and then try to go clean, she would like smear our face and be like, nope, go clean. So, just growing up and having my girls and showing them to have the self-esteem and to love themselves and love others and stuff like that, that's what I appreciate the most out of that part,
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. I feel like you really hit on something, Denise, because I try to show a lot of love to everyone, but to other females. But I feel like it's difficult to receive that same love back sometimes.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of females that don't want to give each other credit or support or love. And I've had people in the past, even, and I'm sure you have too, that I've brought in, and tried to support them. And the whole time they're plotting and scheming.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Yep, I remember.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of men like that too.
Is there? Okay.
There's a lot of men like that too.
All right.
Yeah, it's sad, and I don't. You hear that saying, but what is it called? The
Crabs in a bucket.
crabs in a bucket. Yeah, you hear that a lot, but I don't feed into that because I'm just like, no.
Analogy.
If that goes around, if that keeps going around, like that's the way it's gonna stay, and that's the way it's gonna be. And no, we need to like help each other, like be there for each other.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I was thinking just recently, Denise, you brought up a good point, is our race, Raza, we bring each other down all the time. You know what I'm saying? Rather than uplifting. I have a family member that he's not family, but he's family because I lived next to him for years. We known his uncle, and we were all one big family, right? And they're Puerto Rican, but their lifestyle is different. They really show that love, man.
Yeah.
They have a lot of water, and I mean they're real hospital. They have house hospitality, you know, and real kind, man. And it's a trip, man, because I have a lot of respect for him, man, because you know he's like a brother. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
A brother.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and it's always that one person. And then people feed off of that, and it's like, no, stop hating. Like, be happy for that person, you know.
Yeah.
But they're always like happy, but they're talking shit, you know. And it's like, what?
Yeah. Right.
Well,
Like,
you know, and it's hard. It's hard to please everybody. That's why I always try to promote positivity on my channel. You know, because it's easy to hate. It's easy to tear each other down. You know, we got to lift each other up and just spread unit. Because that's what I'm all about. Because you know, when I got onto YouTube,
Mhm.
I wanted to do something different. And if you guys don't know, I work with kids.
Oh,
I work for a school district, and so I work with kids, and I love my job. It's a job that I enjoy going to every day.
mhm.
You know, it can be stressful, but it's also rewarding.
Yeah. What do you do?
And
Don't mind me asking, because I was in the district field too.
so I have I'm an intervention teacher, so I work with kids who are struggling with reading and writing.
Oh, okay.
Little bit of behavior.
Salute to you, Vision, for doing that, brother. Because you know what, it's a good heart to do it.
Yeah, that's a hard job.
It's a very important job. Yeah.
You know, and but you get to study them and see what the problem is. You know, I used to do parent and pupil interaction, you know, and teach classes on that, man, because you know you have to study them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And you know that, and the thing you're doing is a positive thing and a good thing, bro.
Mhm.
Yeah, respect you, brother.
Yeah, no, I you know, I feel like, you know, it's important. Like when I first got into it,
Mhm.
when I first got into the school district, I didn't know. I was still just trying to get my feet wet, you know, just trying to fill it out. But then when you start, you know, building rapport with these students, and then you learn their background, where they come from, a lot of it is heartbreaking,
Yeah.
you know, because they're just, you know, they're products of their environment. But really, a lot of them, they just want attention,
Yeah.
you know, and a lot of them will act out because they just want that attention from, and in the school, in that field,
Mhm.
it's in the educational field, it's mostly dominated by women.
Mhm.
I mean, there are males, but it's mostly dominated by women. And so kids, they really respond to males in a positive way, because a lot of them, you know, if you look at their background, father's absent, you know, and so they just want that male authority figure.
Mhm.
And so immediately I fell in love with the job. And I feel like when you can relate to a lot of these kids, then you have um, a better understanding of them, and then how to meet their goals.
Yeah.
See, because it's easy for a lot of these counselors just to put a label on this kid. You know, oh, he comes from this background, so let's just put a label on him. Let's call him this, give him some medication, and
Yeah.
he's on his way. He's failed. You know,
Yeah.
you can't do that. When you can relate to and you have experience, and you know you can connect with them,
Mhm.
then you'll see a big change. And that's what I like. Is for me, that's the rewarding part for me is.
Mhm.
That's good,
Yeah.
brother. That's good, man. You know, some kids that I used to work with when they were in second grade, they come through and they get tatted by me out of all these years, man. That's been
Yeah.
years in their 30s right now.
That's pretty
Wow.
cool. Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
fun.
Yeah.
No,
You know
yeah.
what? That makes sense what you said. Like, I do see it mainly dominated by women or females, you know, in the school, just from interaction, dropping my kids off, picking them up throughout the years. And I could see how having a male role model would be important,
Yeah.
very important for a lot of the kids.
Yeah. Back in the days, back in the 2000s, you know, I was always involved with my girls in school, room mother. I went on field trips. I was able to do that, you know, because I took time off to be with them, you know, and to do. They were each they were 4 years apart. So, I mean, it was kind of hard, but I managed to spend time with them. And then when I started doing like, um, yard duty, you get to know all these kids and they're all running up to you and they're all little and, you see them all and you're like, which ones are like the sad ones, the ones that don't have
Yeah.
fathers in their lives and stuff like that. And you just get so close to those kids, man. And it's sad because even though like I lived here 30 years, so I was able to go to the high school and work in the kitchen for quite a while. I'd say like 3 years in the kitchen. And, you see all these kids that were in elementary school and, now they're in high school and then they eventually graduated. And a lot of them that I knew that I said, okay, that one, they're like, they're you instill like just words, even just words like a day.
Yeah.
They take it in. They're waiting for that. They're waiting for you to say something to them, and no, I've seen a lot of kids in from elementary, junior high to high school graduate. No, there was probably like a couple that that you could tell they really, really, really tried. And back then, you had to pass this test. I forgot the test was called, but
Say test.
Was it the No Child Left Behind test?
Yeah, they had to pass that, and it was sad because some of them, like I know 3 of them didn't pass that test, and they were like, man, and I was like, no, that's it.
Oh, you're talking about for the students?
Yeah, the high school.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I think it's it might be CASP testing them, one of those.
Yeah. So like, and then that was sad. That was really sad because, and then years later they said, oh, you don't have to do that test no more. And I'm like, what happened to those kids that they weren't able to walk down with their classmates, like just because they didn't pass that test?
Right.
Not to get off the subject, but I'm just saying like, those kids, man, it's like you're building them up and you see them trying and stuff. And then when they get to high school, like they couldn't pass because they didn't pass that test, but I don't know.
Well,
but
and
anyway.
then I think a lot of it, Denise, too, is because, that's a good point you brought up. Last night I was on, shout out to G. Lou. I was on there with them for a little bit and they were talking about education. So I tapped in with them and it's important. And a lot of it is parenting as well. A lot of it is parenting because, a lot of stuff that you see, it's hard trying to, at least in my line of work, it's hard because you're trying to find that balance. We're doing everything that we can, but then they go home, there's no structure, there's no discipline. And, if you're not because what I see nowadays, a lot of these parents, they want to be friends with their kids instead of their parent. And you can't, you can't do that, and I'm real strict with my kids. Like the same way I am with my students, I'm the same way with my kids. I discipline them the same. I want the best for them because I've been there. I was a knucklehead growing up. I had a hard life, but I told my kids, you don't have to go to those. You don't have to experience those same things that I went through. No, you have opportunities. You have 2 parents that still love you. But I feel like parenting
is number one. Tell you that.
It should be the number one priority, but it's it's not.
Because you're the one that's helping them. They come home, they do their homework, they read or do whatever they're gonna do, and it's like get them up in the morning. Come on, let's go. You got to motivate them. You got to be the one to. You have to be the one to motivate them, and that's what my 3 girls graduated, man, and I'm blessed. I'm so blessed because they graduated and now they have jobs that they really love to do. Like how do you explain, not how to explain that, but it's like, man, I sit back and I reap what I sowed, and I'm like, man, that's awesome that they love their jobs.
Yeah.
Who loves their jobs? Like, you don't hear that, but yeah, it was hard. It wasn't easy, but you have to get up and you have to motivate them. They go off to school and you're like, you keep that going throughout their day and they're going to be they're going to be.
Well, that's why I tell my kids, like, I graduated last summer from a junior college. I got my AS degree and right now I'm completing my my bachelor's program. I'll be done next year, next spring.
Mhm.
But and
That's
I was down on myself because I said, I'm going to be 40 and I'm still going to college. But I looked at the positive side and I showed my kids that it's never too late to get an education.
yeah.
But I told them, I want you guys to, fresh out of high school, go to college, get a career. By the time you're 24,
Mhm.
you will have a degree, you'll have a good career,
Yeah.
and then you can have fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't waste time. Start right off the bat, right off the get go.
Right.
My granddaughter, my oldest granddaughter, she's graduating this year, 18 years old. I told her I'm proud of you, and I told her it's such an example for my other grandkids in the family. She did good. So and I have two more next year. I'm like, I'm proud of them.
Right
Real
on.
proud.
Yeah. Hey, you guys, matter of fact, so my middle daughter, she was a range,
Oh yeah.
kind of like a range monitor at a shooting
Mhm.
range. And she went to a couple of classes and did all this stuff. So now she's an NRA firearm instructor. And
That's awesome.
that's just like, wow, that's cool. It's something she wanted to do. And
Mhm.
my girls went to a year or two in college, but they were just like, I wasn't at that time, 2012, 13. It was more like chase that, get that money, like what is school doing for you? Like,
Mhm.
it's not helping you right now, but I'm not downing anybody. Go to college. I'm just saying for us, it was different. It was like they rather do a trade,
Mhm.
get done quicker and stuff like that. But
It's good.
no, yeah, they all
to
love
how-
what they do.
Denise, it's good to show them how to set goals
Mhm.
and but different goals are small goals so they could accomplish it, that they succeeded in something, and that nothing's out of reach.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing, man. That is a
Yeah. No, I agree. That's why I tell my kids, like, even with sports, I never pushed my kids to play sports because I want them to find what is it that they have a passion for. Because I feel like if you push your kids to do something, and they don't like it, they're just gonna. It's pretty much you set them up for failure.
Yeah.
And they're gonna be rebellious. So I just let it. I tell my kids, whatever you have a passion for, you all have a gift. You just have to find it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly. That's 1,000. You all have a gift. Just look for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we all have a
We all
gift.
do.
You just have to find it.
Yeah.
That's really-
Yeah.
So
But
true.
I feel like social media really messed these kids up.
Oh yeah.
Man, that's
Big
you know
time.
what?
I agree.
That was the next thing I had written down. Like, what do you guys think the effects of social media have been on this generation? And
Negative.
Yeah.
When my daughter was 13, she was like, "Give me a phone, Mom. I want a phone." I was like, "Nope."
Let me tell you,
No.
I used to be against Facebook. One thing I got on before was MySpace. Okay,
Mhm.
and all these other things started coming. I was not at Facebook. I was against Facebook, YouTube, all this stuff.
yeah.
Look at me. I'm like, because of the COVID, and but it's not good. A lot of stuff. I mean, there's a lot of bad stuff out there, man, in that dark world, internet world, man.
Yeah. The other day we took my nephew out, and he's about 10 or 11, and he's on his, he's like this, and our food came, and I said, "Mel, turn off your phone,"
Mhm.
and he's like, "What?" I go, "Turn your phone off. We're gonna eat," and he was like, "Okay," and he turns it off, and we're talking, engaging, and then he goes back and he grabs his phone again and he turns it on. I said, "What did I say? What did I tell you? Turn off your phone, or I'll put it over here."
Yeah.
So we're done. And no, he turned it off and he's okay, and talking again. We're talking, and
Mhm.
I don't know if he ain't used to that or what, but a lot of kids are just, they're in their heads. That social media is telling them who they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
And
no.
for adults, I think for adults too.
Exactly.
A
lot.
Like Cholo said right here, social media is messing up adults. Messing
Yeah.
up adults too.
I think it's just how you look at it. Like,
Yeah.
so I have a rule in my house. When we sit down and eat dinner, there's no devices allowed at the table. We eat, and we talk as a family, and I ask my kids about their day. Is there anything you guys want to talk about? How was your day? How's school going? Are you struggling? Because if you don't have these conversations with your kids, you don't know what they're going through. They might be dealing with something that's happening right under your nose, and you have no idea.
No,
So
yeah.
I don't. So I tell them we're not bringing no devices. Don't bring
And
your
how many people
attitude.
really do that? You know,
Right.
I mean, if
So
more
I
people did
try to
that, the
lead.
more.
Go ahead, Denise. I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. The more people did do what you do, I think that we'd have a better. I think our kids would be better at respect. You know,
Mhm.
because I see no respect in this generation, and it's sad.
You know what
Be at the store and they're just like,
I walk into a room with all my family members and I see everybody like this on some kind of electronic device.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I had my friends over for football season a few months ago, and invited them over to watch the game, and I look around and everybody's on their phone. So I said, I'm thinking to myself, why didn't you guys just stay home and watch the game? You guys came here. We just came to look at each other, be on each other's devices.
Yeah,
no,
all sitting in the same room, huh?
for that.
Yeah, it's
I-
crazy.
I have caught myself doing that even.
Oh yeah, no, I have to check myself at times too. I'm, because you have to lead by example,
Mhm.
and sometimes my kids will tell me, Dad, we'll go to a restaurant. I'll have my phone out while I'm waiting for my food, and I'll say, hey, Dad, put your phone away.
And they love to remind us, huh? When
Oh,
they're
yeah.
Going back and forth, just watching all those things, man. Time passes by, and I think social media and these phones have changed social skills and social behavior. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
You were walking to a friend's house or doing this and that or whatever,
Yeah.
Now, easy access by these phones.
It's just sad because, like I said, social media is telling your child who they are and what to do and how to look at things, and it's not correct. It's not right.
Right. Especially when you got little ones, like my teenagers, they're at that age where they feel like they're too cool to hang out with us.
Mhm.
So my small, I got two grandbabies.
Aw.
And my youngest son, he's 7. So I'm trying to enjoy it while they're little, because you don't realize when they get teenagers, they're at that point where they're too cool to hang out with mom and dad.
Yeah.
They just want to be in their room locked in, playing video games or on their phones. And so I'm trying to break them out of those habits. It's like we got to spend as much time, because at the blink of an eye, everything will be taken away tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm kind of in that same, like my little one right now, she's 10, and I have 3 grandbabies, and then I have teenagers and adult children.
Mhm.
And it's like lately I've been feeling so nostalgic. Like, man, I wish my kids were all little still, like missing that. So I'm just trying to soak it all up, all that I can, with Ruby right now, because she's the last one. And it's just crazy how fast they grow up. And you're right, when they're teenagers, we're not so cool anymore.
Yeah. So I mean, like that, when you teach them though, when they're young, like I was saying, traditions and stuff like that to keep your family close. When I got to do that with my girls,
Mhm.
it's like we now, when we have time, like yesterday, we went out to eat, and it was me and my girls. Like we went out to eat, and we talked, and we just like hung out, and it was cool,
Mhm.
And do I miss them when they're little? Heck yeah, but I enjoy them being adults
Yeah.
and seeing how much they've progressed, and then just hearing them talk about their day and their, work schedules and what they did throughout whatever. And that's, to me, that's like amazing. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's a great feeling. And, it just,
That's true. That's true. Your adult children are a blessing to be around too. Like,
oh yeah.
I was spending time with him today. He's 26 years old, and I told him to come over because I'm going to do a live with him. He's going to come on and be a co-host here, and it's going to be dope. It's going to be good.
That's cool.
yeah, I look forward to seeing that. That would be cool to see that for
Yeah.
sure. That's interesting. We were saying, how social media is affecting our kids or the youth. And my son, who is my oldest, him and my daughter-in-law neither one of them have social media. Like 2 years ago, they canceled everything. Like no IG, Facebook, TikTok, nothing.
Hmm.
And I thought at first, I'm like, they'll probably, a couple weeks. But no, they kept their word and they have not had any social media. So, I mean, I'm proud of them for keeping their word. And
Yeah, that's cool.
my son says that he feels like, they get a lot more accomplished and they spend a lot more quality time together and with the kids.
Social media is a relationship killer also. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
My husband has no phone. He has no social media. He trips out on me because I'm all over the place. But
Right?
he has none of that. And he's like, he says he's off the grid. And I'm like, but hey, if he can do that, then more power to him, But me, like, everybody says, when are you gonna start your channel? And I'm like, nah, I can't. I go crazy with the trolls. Like, I can't handle. I'd be like fighting with them, But
Yeah, that's something, Denise, that recently, like, I've had a lot of trolls, but I don't entertain them because that's what they want. They just want to, they want that attention. And me, I always say this: I'm not gonna let nobody irritate my spirit that bad to where I got to engage, back and forth.
And I
with
could
somebody.
I could say that, but when it comes down to it, it's like another story.
Right there.
Yeah, I just, I mean, and if you look at my channel, I mean, I try to promote as much positivity as I can. The only thing I don't, there are certain individuals that I've talked about, but if you guys, I don't know if you guys follow the story here that happened a few months ago, but in Goshen, here in Goshen, there was a family that was murdered, and it was over a gang robbery, and I actually knew one of the suspects.
Oh, wow.
I knew him since he was a teenager. And so, and I voiced my opinion, and I just don't have respect for men that hurt women and babies and child molesters. Those people are the ones that all air out. I have no problem talking negative about them because, to me, there's no place on earth for people like that.
Yeah.
But anyways, I didn't mean to get off. Yeah, I didn't mean to get off topic, but but trolls are gonna be trolls. If you're on here talking nothing but positivity, they're still gonna find it. You're damned if you do and damned if you don't. They're still gonna find a way to try to get to you. But you just gotta have thick skin. Because social media, especially YouTube, it's not for everybody. It's not for everybody.
And I commend Jen because she's gotten some on here, and I'm like, dude.
Jen, Jen,
Speaking about like what's on the news today, I was telling Jen, what are we going to talk about? Like there's so much bad going on right now. Like you hear this guy that in Texas, you hear this other one in like Virginia, and it's like, forget it. It's too depressing to even talk about.
Yeah.
A lot of people that watch copycat stuff and start getting their mind filled with stuff. Mental illness also plays a role in that. You know what I'm saying? There's something wrong in their life, but man, that's a touchy subject right there. Getting into the guns. This guy, how many guns had that one over there? And what was it, Texas or somewhere out there?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yeah, he had a few, but he had a few. I mean, if we could talk about it, he was shooting out in his yard, and the neighbors told him to, it's late. I'm putting my kids to sleep, and you're just making loud noises and whatnot. And yeah, he went in there and he just killed like 5 people, and he's still on the loose. He's still out there somewhere, which I can't understand.
So that was a neighborly dispute?
Yeah.
Yeah. As people not, it's crazy.
Supposedly he was drunk and whatnot, but hey, man, that don't give you an excuse to do that. And now he's out on the run somewhere. He's still out there. And
man, if you can do that to a kid, to a baby,
yeah,
there's no amount of being drunk that makes, like, you have to have something evil in you to do that.
Somebody needs to handle a person like that, big time. That's a no-no right there, man. That's like that gets under my skin right there to hear when people do that,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, there was recently, like 2 weeks ago, at the high school that my daughter goes to, there was a staff member who was arrested he was having he was 37-year-old man having a relationship with a 15-year-old girl.
Mm.
And that just, when I hear about shit like that, it pisses me off, because I don't, don't get it. I don't understand it. But
Right. And
you know,
everywhere, every high school around my area, there's at least a teacher, a coach,
Yeah.
a staff member who's locked up in our county jail right now on charges for messing with a minor.
I think the school districts everywhere, they need to be, because when you work for a school district, you have to pass a background check. But I think it needs to be more. I think it needs to be more extensive.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it's
I
hard.
would say like anything, every 6 months, check up on your staff, like what's going on, like
Because it's hard. It's hard to be judgmental.
yeah.
Because then we talk about discrimination.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
But I think you have to be judgmental to a certain point.
Right.
Because these are, you shouldn't have to drop your kids off at school and have to worry. As soon as they get off the car, you want to leave with the peace of mind, like my kids are safe. You don't want to have to worry if there's some perverts preying on your kids. That's not cool.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what's crazy about the high school, the guy that they had locked up, they arrested him. He bailed out or whatever, but then they arrested him on new charges. Like other kids were coming forward. And what's crazy is one of my kids, the first comment they said when I told them, hey, did you hear about so-and-so?
Mhm.
They were like, we always were wondering when he was finally going to get busted. I'm like, what do you mean? And what they said is, I'm like, what did you see? What do you mean? Like, I panicked when they said that.
Yeah.
But they were like, he always had like snacks in his room and juice, and he would like give them to certain kids, like, and tell them to come in during break. And they just said he was really overly friendly, and
No, yeah.
to the point it was creepy.
Yeah. I was working with this guy in the kitchen, and I had, where we had like snack, time where they had to go and buy their little whatever. And he would say, here to 2 or 3 certain girls, he would tell them, take it, go, and talk with them a little bit. And then come to find out he got fired for messing with one of those girls. And I'm like, dude, I called it though. I said, this guy's too friendly to those 3 little girls. He's too friendly, man. And no, it was years after that I left, maybe 2 years, whatever. He ended up getting caught for being with one of those little girls. And it was like, man, all sad. I called it though. Man, they don't, people don't listen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't understand it. But hey, Jen, I just wanted to say thank you for letting me join your platform. I'm gonna have to cut it short. I wish I could stay on longer, but I'm gonna attend to the little ones right now. But you have my contact info, so maybe we can do something pretty soon. We'll chop it up.
I like that. Yeah. And you know what? You tell a good story time, okay? I listened to one of your videos the other day, and that story time was like spot on. I was like waiting to hear the end of like the whole, I don't want to give it away, but you guys go check it out, about the guy who ended up being buried in a backyard somewhere.
Oh, yes.
Okay. That one like had me on the edge of my seat. So you guys go check out eVision.
It was nice meeting you, brother. Denise and Jen. I'll see you guys again. But yeah, Jen, I'll tap in with you soon and we'll do something.
All right. Have a good night, family.
All right, you guys have a blessed one.
Bye, you too.
Good night.
Good night.
Yeah, there was a lot of things that we were like, should we talk about that? But then again, it's like, I don't want to depress everybody and just be on.
Touch on my thing is about happiness.
Yeah.
We're happy. Everybody, what makes you happy, Jen?
What makes me happy?
I mean, where's happiness? Like, your peace. Because some people may find it like in a bottle. Some people may find it like going far places, traveling. Some people may find it being alone, or some people, where do you find your happiness, Jen?
I don't want to sound cliche, but I'm going to, just be honest. My happiness starts when I am in the right place with the Lord. If I'm not in my word, if I'm not, practicing, living my life, the way I should, the way I know better, if my foundation isn't solid, then I don't find peace in any area of my life.
Yeah.
So right now, I've really been digging into like getting right. I'm trying to make all the best decisions I can, cutting back on certain things, cutting back on certain people. You know what I mean? And just making myself an example for my children, because I started having like some good conversations and fellowship. And, if I don't live my life to a certain way and show myself to be a Christian mom and not partake in certain things or not divulge in things of the world, then how are my kids going to believe me when I say, hey, don't do that, or that's bad? Not that I'm tossing judgment out there, but for myself and my household, like I would hope that my kids' foundation is strong in the Lord, and they can always fall back on that, because God knows I have had times where I feel totally solid and I have backslid or slipped away, but I always come back to God, and I'm grateful that He accepts me back.
Yeah. Yep.
He's always there. We're the ones that leave him. How about you?
What do you say?
How about you?
Oh, me? Me, my happy place is I would say when I have my girls, and my husband here at home together, and just seeing their joy, And another thing is just like when my girls come up to me at night and say, Mom, I don't feel good. Like, can you pray for me? And I'm like, heck yeah, let's do this. And that gives me joy, man. That just makes me happy that God has me in that position, and they know, that I could pray for them and that they feel better after that. Cause it's not just, oh Lord, take care of them. Thank you.
Yeah.
I let God, I let it fill me up. I let him fill me up. And I know that it comes out, to them like in a very sincere and warm place in my heart, that God gives me that feeling,
You know where my happiness lies, used to lie before I look and I say, okay, I'm older than you ladies here. And I know both of you. I'll be 58 this year. I had a lifestyle where I used to party a lot. I used to go like everywhere, club, every, functions, car shows, and do a lot of things. All my life, I used to party. So I'm at a stage where I said, you know what? I don't feel like doing that no more. You know, I want to live a simple life. I want to spend time with my grandkids because that makes me happy.
right.
I want to spend time in church because that brings me peace.
Mm-hmm.
You see? And so it's not like my life is a big, exciting life. My life is a simple life, but you know what? That's what makes me happy. You know, and because I do all that other stuff,
Jump on, Cholo.
like where I got tired of it, And
Well, yeah.
am I getting old?
I think we all went through that, but like for me, I don't have grandkids, so
Yeah.
I'm sure that's just like so
Easy.
much fun, But other than that, like me and my husband, we have each other, so we do, we have to do
That's
we have
good.
to do things with each other, that. But no, House, I get you. You're.
I don't
It's
know.
not like a burnout though. Is it like a burnout? Because now I like going to car shows. I like to do. I don't go to clubs. I don't do that.
It's like I'm not like burned out, but I am limited on like how far I can travel and certain things I can do. That kind of plays a role, but I've done all that stuff like big time. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So I'm okay with rather than going to church, helping somebody out, doing the simple things in life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm okay, you know. Before I would let's go Vamonos, let's go here, let's go there, But sometimes things that happen in your life can change your life. You know what I'm saying?
And you know what? That's a huge blessing that you were able to like show you're here. I mean, you survived that, and out of that stuff, man, you can sit back and say, man, I survived that. Like, I've been partying in my neighborhood, and going to other neighborhood, like we've been shot at, and I had like three encounters in that, and being at my husband's neighborhood, we've been shot at here, and a few guys got shot, and we're sitting there picking the little BBs,
Yeah.
from a shotgun out of their bodies, and like, man, we survived that, and we trip out, and so I mean, isn't it's a huge blessing when you talk to your kids, right, House, that you've been through some stuff, but like you're here to be able to be with your kids and your grandkids, like that's a huge blessing, man.
That's what I like. My grandson. I was talking to him the other day, and he was like, because he's going to like the cholo kind of style,
Oh, okay.
Down with this, and I said, "Hey, wait a minute." So he came and he was talking to me a couple of weeks ago, and he said, "So were you from down here or down in LA?" And I told him down in LA. He goes, "Oh," he goes, "I thought you were down from here." And I said, "But I don't say that, And I started educating, talking to him, like to be himself. You know what I'm saying? Be a leader, be a follower. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's right. Down a crazy path where you're going to either end up dead in jail or hurting somebody. You know?
Yeah.
And so I told him, but he's not all the way there. You know what I'm saying? So I tell him.
That's it. You got to be a leader, not a follower. And if you're a leader, you're gonna know what's up. You're gonna know what to get into and what not to get into, and how to handle things when things get crazy.
Right?
Good schooling.
And I know I told this story before. I used to how to defend herself, and I said, but don't go looking for trouble, because I wanted her to graduate. And I think I told you guys.
Oh yeah.
Beating up that one girl and getting arrested for it, because I said, you know what you can do, but that other girl started it, but my daughter was the. So you got to be careful, on things like that, because if you want something good out of life, walk away, and that's what she did. But then when that girl grabbed her by the hair, she had a hand.
Yeah.
But,
well, you hear about kids getting in fights at school, and just that one punch killed them. It killed him because you hit him in the temple, or you hit his head when he fell, or just something, and that's to go to prison for that.
Yeah, and they take that stuff way more seriously now. Like I mentioned it before. I have 4 daughters. I'm not saying which one, but one of my daughters had been in a fight in middle school, and they charged her with a felony, and she was literally facing 3 years. And we had to go through a trial and everything. It was so scary. As a parent, your 14-year-old. I couldn't even, she was able to qualify for some law they had where if they're under 15, they can get like a suspended sentence type thing.
Wow.
And I thought I was going to lose my mind. I couldn't think of my child being incarcerated. And especially, she finally she was being bullied, and she just finally snapped one day and was like, that's it. And the bully wasn't ready for it.
Yeah.
Hey, RL. But I feel like this is cool that all 3 of us right here, like collectively, I mean, it's not cool that some of the things we've been through, but we can say we've probably all 3 been in some pretty scary situations.
Oh, yeah.
I told my daughter,
or whatever, but here we are,
Yeah. I told her one time, I says, you only got one get out of jail free. And that's to put in jail. So we came up with the bail money to bail her out. Because I didn't put her in there,
Yeah.
So we did that. But I says only one time. One get jail free. So you got to pull those coals on your head,
I was lucky. I never got caught for doing things that we did. And man, every weekend was a beer run, or, going to the connection and doing all that stuff, man. Every weekend it was like that. Sometimes during the week, but every weekend. And man, we never got caught for any of that. And
you know what? There was a place in Norwalk right off of Studebaker and Rosecrans, and it was called Crawford, right? That was my best place right there. I was like about maybe 16, 17, anywhere from 15 to 18,
Mhm.
And we'll have the guy. There was a liquor department that was separate, so we'd say, "Hey, we want that down there," so he'd have to bend over to get it. While he did that, I pick up 2 12-packs, walk out nonchalant,
Yeah.
and that's my everyday get up to do that. It's funny that you mentioned that because I didn't have to get it and run or nothing. Just
Yeah.
nonchalant grabbed it, made sure
Our beer,
nothing.
our beer were two 12-packs under our serape, and we were out. But he started to get used. He started to notice, us coming in, and man, he would push the door and lock us in there. And we got locked in one time. We're like, man, open this door.
You want to hear something funny?
Wow.
Me and one of my homeboys, right? We were hungry, so there was this Mexican restaurant, and we says, "Hey, let's go eat there, and then we'll just bone out, dine and dash, right?" Right? So we're hungry, man. So we ordered the food, we got it, we started eating it, and all of a sudden, here comes the Huras. The cops came in, and then they were right there, and I says, "Damn, I ain't got no money, God. Now you ain't got no money, and the cops are right there, right?" Hey, don't worry, I'll get us out of this one.
Mm.
Hey, you know what? I walked up to the person at the counter. I says, "Hey, you know what? I lost my wallet right now, and I can't find it." And then they, all right, we got you. We got you till next time.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God, right? Oh, good.
Yeah, that's I mean, thank God we survived our stuff. Like you said, Jen, we all done, crazy things, and
Yeah. And now we can pass the knowledge down to our kids and grandkids or people that are watching even,
My kids go now. They don't really see the complete change in me because they're used to me being a certain way for years. Hard for them to accept how I am with like God and going to church and this. But you know what? It's okay, But I still then let them know, God's good and go to church, man. Get yourself grounded.
yeah.
That's right. Hey, Victor wants to know how long you've been tattooing, House.
Victor, I've been tattooing for a minute, man, and I had to flake out this Saturday. I had a job I was supposed to do on Leño,
Okay. Yeah.
I woke up not feeling good, and I was flake out on him because he's coming from a long distance, right?
Yeah.
So I told him, it's better off that we'll postpone it for another day, because if I'm not up to par to tattoo, I won't do it because I like being in the zone and you just bam, bam, But if I'm not feeling good and I'm aching and hurting, I'm not going to do it,
Yeah.
So
Right.
we postpone it, Let me show you what I was supposed to do here.
Yeah. Denise, I love that picture of you on your playlist on Mr.
Oh, thank
Oldie.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did a photo shoot.
I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it?
Yeah. Let me see. Put it over a little more.
Which
That's
way?
Nice. The other way. Okay. That's beautiful.
I'm
It's
behind
supposed to be eyes.
Yeah.
And then we're supposed to add some other stuff around it,
That's
And
nice.
but I said, man, I hate flaking out. You know what I'm saying? But I'm feeling good. So
yeah, you got to make sure, like a job like yours, I understand. Like you have to make sure your body is like 100. When you're working.
because when you're an artist and you're a tattoo, you want to be in that zone and get down because when you're in pain, then it's like God, just like you feel good. So you just want to postpone it for another day. And like if you're sick or something too, like if I'm sick, I tattoo nobody because it's just tattoo ethics,
Right.
That's one thing I do is I'm clean about everything, and I seen a client that used to be a client for years for me, and COVID hit. They were hitting me up to get some ink, and I couldn't do it because I was sick. I wasn't up to par. So, wow! But when I was seeing that person tattooing them, I said, "Man, look, nothing's covered, nothing's doesn't look clean." You know what I'm saying? You got to be
very.
Teresa wants a tattoo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was a good picture of you Denise, in your playlist.
Yeah.
Sounded good.
That was good. You guys.
Can't wrong with Smokey or who was it? Barbara Mason? Was it Barbara Mason or the Love Lights? Huh? The Love Lights too.
Oh yeah, there was a few on there that I just kind of sat back and I was like, man, I play these in my car, and you know me, I'm just like, I'm an oldies and funk girl.
Mhm.
I listen to other stuff, but if I have it on the radio and stuff, but
Yeah.
other than that, yeah, I'm all into oldies, and I put my favorite ones that that I love, and
That's what I
they all
do.
meant something to me, like I had my mom's song in there, and
Oh.
um, my daughter's song in there, and she was just like, "Man, Mom, we're playing this at your funeral." I go, "Dang,
Right?
play
Like,
it on
no.
my birthday. Why
Like, yeah, slow your roll.
why does it have to be that at my funeral?" I said, "Play it for my birthday. It's coming up."
Right. Yeah. How funny our kids
Yeah.
are.
But shout out to Mr. Oldies again for
Yes.
putting
Shout
it down.
Yeah, you guys can check Denise's playlist out on Mr. Oldie's channel. I'll link it in the description so you guys can get to it,
Yeah,
check it out. But
right on.
what do you have planned for this next week, Denise? Anything exciting?
You know what? We're having a family reunion on Saturday, which it's gonna be cool. Um, I kind of have a problem with like, okay, my aunt lives down the street, yet I never see her, but we're gonna. It's just sad.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
It's sad. I've been out of the loop for a while because, like told you guys, I watched my husband's grandma for many, many years, and I didn't, being that she was bedridden for at least 5 years of that time, wasn't able to go nowhere. I was always with her, having to be here, or even if I went to the store, I had to get back because she's bedridden. She had
It's a big responsibility. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like you're out of the loop, and then people forget about you. They don't hit you up no more, and you're just like, man. So after she passed, I'm like, I'm available. Let's do this or do that. But
Right.
I don't know. It seems like everybody has their own clique, and everybody has their own people, and it's like, okay, well, whatever. But it ought to be fun. Looking forward to it. I guess.
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully it's a good time.
I just haven't seen a lot of people, a lot of family. I haven't seen them in forever, so that's going to be cool. What do you say?
He says he better not be disappointed with your playlist.
Oh,
No.
Yeah, I don't think so. It's cool. It already hit what, 2 no, it hit like 2.5K or something. Last time I checked, but
yeah, a lot of views.
that's
What about you, House? What do you have coming up this week? Anything exciting?
Work, and then because my work comes on the weekends too, work, and then my grandson's birthday. He's turning 6 years old.
Okay.
Yeah, and then my granddaughter's coming up too. She's on her birthday too. She's turning 18. So
Right on.
Yeah, you'll have to remind us when we go on the next week.
Yeah.
Birthday.
this week. So by then, like with the 7th, and then I think the 4th. See, I get mixed up.
Yeah. Write them down and we'll shout them out next Tuesday for sure. That's right.
Yeah.
I haven't seen my family in many years, and we all live in SoCal. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's sad, but I mean, I guess it's due time for a reunion, and we'll see.
You know what? But my family, my brother, he just got baptized this Sunday at church, and he finally got, and it was a blessing. I went forward to him and saw that, and I said, yeah, man, it's a blessing, man.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
That is a blessing.
He didn't believe in God. He just one that no. Now he's in church with us, and he goes to church a lot, and he got baptized. He himself to the Lord and got baptized, and he did it in front of everybody. And I said, man, that's a blessing, man.
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All my girls, well, 2 of them they turn age in June. Both, I have 2 birthdays in June, and then October, my middle one is going to be 30. So it's like, wow, just they're turning another age.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's exciting.
It is exciting. My high schooler, she's only got 30 days left till she graduates, and then I'm just gonna have one kid left in school. That's gonna be crazy feeling. 'Cause I remember at times I was driving to 4 different schools.
Oh
taking
yeah,
all
same
day.
here.
Yeah.
I was doing the thing. Well, 3, but yeah, I remember those days too.
Yeah.
Jen, when my daughters turned 18 and they were starting to leave home or this and that, or going out and then coming home late, I couldn't sleep. I was worried about them,
I
you know? I was like, up until they get in. I'm like, damn, 2, 3 in the morning. I'm like, it was tiring me out, and I was stressing over them. But I said, you know what? God, let them be, God. It's all in your hands, and
Mhm.
good. So it took a while to get adjusted to that, but
Yeah, that's a hard part.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It definitely is. But you're right. God's got them, and it's okay too. Like, well, my 22-year-old, she knows how I am. Sometimes if I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm like, okay, well, she didn't come home tonight. She stayed the night at a friend's or whatever. I'll still text her, hey, I love you. Did you say your prayers? Yes, Mom. I said my prayers. And
Yeah.
I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you in the morning.
Yeah.
I just got to check.
Yeah, I do that too, but I kind of laid off because one of them was like, "Mom, you bug too much. Like, just respond to me, tell me something.
Yeah, let me know
Don't
your
wait hours to respond." It's like, come on now.
Yeah, for sure.
a GPS tracker on yours, Denise?
Why should
No.
it's true?
I have that on my kids.
Dang. Do you really?
My daughters put it on here themselves though. So
Oh.
I didn't secretly do it. They were like,
I
let's,
was like, what?
But they have my location too. You know what I mean? So we can see where each other are at.
That's something that's on iPhone, right?
I don't have an iPhone. It's called something like Life 360. My kids have iPhones, but I don't have an iPhone. It's an app that you download. Yeah, Life
Oh,
360.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
This world's gone mad now. It's understandable, but
Yeah.
sometimes you gotta leave it in God's hands rather than putting all that stress on yourself,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I had to like stop because I was like, okay, I need to stop. I caught myself,
Hey,
but like I said,
I seen that thing when you went to your picture of where's it, San Diego? That looked dope. Did you see that fight?
no, we left. That was after.
There was a fight?
Yeah.
These young kids, man. Young kids just messing it up for people, man.
They messed it up. There was little crazy ones that were they weren't cholos. They were just like, I don't know, free spirit type, kids, whatnot, and they were just like running around the park. And then this one that I seen it on the news or on YouTube. Then this guy came out and he was like, man, you guys ruined it. You ruined the whole day. Not the whole day because it was after, it was like at the end.
Yeah.
But still, we didn't go. And I said that, I told my husband, man, it's pretty cool. We haven't had a fight, and it's almost over because it ended like at 5. And as soon as we left, I came home and I'm looking on the news, and on YouTube, and shows them fighting. And I'm like, dude,
Oh, wow.
it's so sad.
Yeah.
You have your grandmas, you have your older people, and they're standing around. They can't move, fast enough. And that was a problem that I saw. I was like, man, look at that old lady. Like, she's over there being metiche and being all up in the middle. And I'm like, get out of there,
Right.
But
That's
yeah.
too bad.
It was
Wow. Other than that, it sounds like it was a good time, right?
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah. No, we went on that Coronado Bridge house because we missed our exit. And I was like, oh, shoot, where are we? Like, what? So I was freaking out. And my husband said, like, calm down. And after we got off and came back and got off, he was like, I'm not going to lie. He's like, I had anxiety too. And I was trying not to. But
I like going over that bridge, man. Coronado Bridge.
I would love to do it again, but this time enjoy like the scene. Other than that, I was too high and I was like, damn, we're going like far.
Yeah, I can't handle that. That's crazy. I know I saw that Cholo was at the 30-year anniversary celebration for Blood In, Blood Out. And it
Yeah.
was badass. Didn't see no problem.
Oh, I wanted to know what did
That was real nice.
what's his name? Uh, he took a picture with them and he gave him a box of something. What was in that box? Cholo.
Oh, okay.
It looked like where you put your albums kind of like in a suitcase type thing. And
Bought a hat. I think Cholo bought a hat.
Yeah, I think it probably was the hat, right? He'll answer right now, I'm sure. When are you gonna do your live with your son? Do you have a day yet?
It's going to be Thursday.
Okay, Thursday.
And we haven't figured a time. We're going to talk about it tomorrow, and we're going to do it. But we're trying to get something cracking, and he's trying to be all like that. I said, just be yourself, just be yourself, We'll have fun and whatever, play music, talk, and go from there. Because I finally got everything squared away where I could hear the music or whatever, and or where the cameras are right, and then I could just do the cameras to go this way and that way, and
yeah.
in the StreamYard and whatever. And so it's cool now. It's
Right.
What do you say?
It'll be cool to check out. I'm not going to give you an answer just to leave you guessing, Denise.
Aw,
Cholo. You're gonna have to
well,
go
it
look at
probably
it.
was a hat then. That's my news, but
We'll just go with that.
yeah.
Well, we're gonna call it a wrap for the night,
That's
guys.
messed up, Cholo, man.
She's not gonna remember that one.
I'm gonna lose sleep now.
Aw.
Let's
Thank
give
you,
him a minute though. Let's give him a minute to see if he answers.
Give him a minute, see if he decides to grace you with an answer.
Couple minutes. Come back, Cholo. Tell
You
me.
gotta know now, Denise. You're like, I have to know. Okay,
Yeah.
here we go. Here we go.
the hat.
Okay, cool. He's gonna make a video on it.
Oh, okay.
The hat. Right on.
That's good. I'll wait for that then.
Well, thank you guys, everyone in the chat. Thank you, Denise, House, eVision, everyone that, shared in on this conversation. Like I said, we didn't have a whole lot of set, trending topics because of my little one being sick. But next week, buckle up. We'll have some pretty exciting things to talk about, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So,
Yep. We sure will.
yes, I appreciate you guys. You have a blessed
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And looking forward to that live house. And you guys go check out Denise's playlist on Mr. Oldie.
Yeah.
That's
All right.
All right.
Bye, you guys. Bye, House. Bye, Jen.
Bye.
God bless.
God bless.
Bye, chat.